All right, we are live. And this is me and Mario. I appreciate everybody who's already in here. Man, we already got a couple comments going. All right, cool. So basically, this is going to be us talking about a few of the major features of the San Francisco to Los Angeles. And don't say San Fran. Because apparently I triggered a lot of people in the comments saying like, "Oh, San Fran, cringe, my guy." Like,
SF.
I don't know. I don't know. You can't do that either. And if you say like LA, I was like, well, what about LA? And somebody's like, oh, well, what if I said Los Angeles? And I was like, I would say that. That's fine. Anyways, so this is going to be about our gear, the bags, the route, our overall mechanicals, and just like kind of thoughts about the trip. Those are going to be the main 5 talking points. After that, we are going to take all the questions. Me and Mario are prepared. Look at this. I got a whole swing arm thing. This is production value for this stream. And for everybody who's watching, I am going to be having day 1 that Mario has already seen.
It's so good. I swear it's so good. And not just because I'm in it.
No, honestly, you're mostly in it. It's literally mostly shots of you. Mario is like mostly like that's it. Because like I'm shooting everything else. So he's mostly in it. But yeah, that's going to be coming out on Friday. So what I'm going for is I listened to everybody's comments and everybody said they want daily uploads with like more info. So that's what I did. So every Monday and Friday for the next few weeks, there's going to be daily videos from the trip because it is honestly a lot to edit. It was 40 to 60 minutes of footage per day, depending on the route. Obviously, some days were shorter, some days were longer. But going off of that, that's what we're aiming for. So Friday will be episode 1, day 1. Technically, it's like day 0.5. And day 1 because I shot a little bit of our happenstance that we had with the hotels on the first day. So everybody, I appreciate everybody joining in. We got 24 in here already. So
and just to clarify, the videos aren't going to be 40, 50 minutes long.
No. I've edited them down quite a bit. That's how much footage I have. So thank you, Mario. Yeah. Hopefully, yeah, the videos I'm hoping for with this are going to be that 10 to 12 minute range. I really wanted to give an informative video because Mario and I both, when we did this, what was your not biggest complaint, but like, what was your one thing when we researched doing this ride that you wanted when YouTubing it like everybody else does?
Well, I had never really done like a long endurance trip, I guess, if you want to call it that. Yeah. So I just didn't know how like physically I was going to feel. Like the day after day after day after day. That was pretty much what I was like. And I don't know, like a lot of the videos that I saw on YouTube were like super legit riders. Like,
so we're not. You mean we're not 350 watt 6 watt per kilo riders? That
maybe after this trip, maybe I don't know what our FTP is now.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I just wanted like regular people info. Yeah. So that was hard to find. But we're probably a little bit more average than normal people.
We'll say that. Yeah, we could say that. So basically what we wanted and what I wanted out of this whole series was I wanted to shoot it in the sense of us watching something to give us info on how to do this well, how to try to navigate around the issues that would come with a self-supported ride from San Francisco to LA. Because it isn't an unknown thing. It isn't a route that nobody's ever done. So it's not, super cryptic. But at the end of the day, it was so cool. Like everybody we told that we did, like, because we subtle bragged many times along the ride.
Well,
because you got to, because you're hurting so bad, you just want someone to smile and be like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" Like every once in a while, that was the thing that you wanted.
Where are you coming from?
Oh,
San Francisco. But today,
today. So that was the best, and we got some great reactions versus that. But the videos are going to be essentially about us showing everybody, if you're either doing this ride specifically, what to look for and avoid, but also at the same point, if you look at the kind of prep videos that we did, the bike setup, which we're going to do for yours because everybody said they want to hear about the tail fin.
Oh yeah.
And we'll get into that. And then, what my bike setup was, how do we plan our route? And those kind of aspects, I think, translate so well no matter what, ride length that you want to do. I think we learned collectively, I think we learned a lot.
Yeah.
And
we did.
And you were like, I think there's a few things that we brought with that were crucial to our success that we'll get into. But I think us navigating almost every night of like, what's the next again, and staying fresh and understanding that we kind of have to move and shake a little bit every day, I think was critical.
Yeah, our ability to adapt to the certain situations. I mean, obviously we were sort of trying to ride around weather, trying to avoid rain. So it was, what time should we leave? What time should we start arriving? You check one place's weather and you take another, and like it gets a little tricky. But you got to be on your toes.
It was
like,
a lot,
dude. Let's go. Half hour window. Let's
be
go.
Like, all right, are you ready? We got to leave at 11 or whatever it was. So no, I think that was it. So let's take this. I appreciate all 44 of you that are here. Like I said, we're going to be getting into the questions and answers a little bit later. But first off, let's start with bicycle setup and what we both rode. So I had my Cobalt Warhawk. You had your Salsa Storm Chaser. Both gravel bikes, and in quotes. And I think that was the move.
I think so too.
Could we have done it on road bikes?
I mean, yes. As comfortably? Nah, not at all. Especially, I mean, as every time I got a chance, I do the gravel side, the like the offshoots and the side roads and cutting the corners. Dude, that was so fun. I hit a lot of dead ends doing that.
Well, yeah. What was your nickname that I gave you? It was a Mario. If there's gravel, Miranda. Like, that was it. It was just
to spice it up. It's because the whole thing rode sometimes. Just a little.
And so
but we had the ability to do whatever stuff we wanted.
So what was your wheel and tire setup for the people? Since we're going to be doing your setup later.
I was running 700 by 40C semi, like almost slicks with a little bit of little nubby, not nubby. What is that, like micro dots or something?
Yeah.
It's a Maxxis tire, Maxxis Velocita or something like that.
There we go.
But it was a 40C tire. That's what it was about. And having the width to me was crucial, especially on the roads that had all those like that were broken.
Oh yeah,
like super low maintenance on these farm roads, and having the wide squishier tire, even though we were running like high PSI 50.
Right. Well, yeah, because we had the weight. Yeah,
of course. Yeah. It was still super nice to be able to just go over everything and not have to worry about like those kind of pinch flat type of deals because you're running the small tires. So I think it was the setup. Also for rain, the wide tire, so legit. You felt so much more comfy, so much more planted with the wider air down a little bit. Like, I don't know. For traveling, I think it was, I mean, a couple 100 grams you could probably save by going to a 30, maybe a 28 or 26, but nah. For me personally, I'll stick with my 40. 40 slick is
thick boys in life and in tire size. Okay, so so for me, I was running. And you were running the puncture resistant versions of those, correct?
I don't know, but I was running the 120 TPI version.
Well, yeah, but that means
120 and they have a 60. I don't know which is which. I've never really.
Okay, so the 60 is most likely your puncture resistant version.
Okay, so I was running the 120.
Okay, so I was running 700 by 38C Panaracer Gravel King Slick Plus. So that was their puncture resistant version. Most of their puncture resistance apparently is mostly in the sidewall. And I wanted a new set, which for everybody who's watching, I'm going to be doing a review on that tire in the Plus version. I have one for the non-Plus. It's a killer tire. And I mean, it lasted a lot because I rode that for all their training rides in the 35. And then I asked them if they would send me a set in a 38. because you were running 40s, I was like, I want the compliance, because I was like, oh man, the weight, and then like I was like, my ass will appreciate it. So no, 100%. I think that was the big move. What was your tire pressure? Was obviously a little bit lower than mine because you ran a little bit bigger of tire, but for me, I was running those tires on my whiskey wheels, which are, I believe, 21 or 23 internal. And I was running those between 40 to 45 in the front, and then like 43 to almost 50 in the rear, depending on the day and how much climbing we had. And my setup was lighter than yours a little bit by a few pounds. So, and me and you basically weighed the same. So our weight was basically the same, but mainly the bike weight was a little bit different. What was your tire pressure and weight difference that you noticed? Because we obviously dropped a lot of pressure for the rainy days.
Yeah.
Like I dropped like 10 PSI almost.
I was trying to go a little bit more firm because, I was still trying to get some kind of fast feeling. I don't know.
He wanted to slide in the rain. Yeah.
No, well, normally I'd be running 50 on the back, like 48 in the front is 47. And then for the rain, I did come down to like 40 and like 42 or something. It was still pretty firm, but soft. I mean, the lowest I've ran those tires on gravel is like 22, 25.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And they've been super good, like super squishy.
Yeah.
But so I knew I had plenty to go and still keep that firmness with a little bit lighter. So.
Yeah, for me, I was similar tire pressure all around, a little bit higher just because I had a little bit less volume. But with the plus casing, I noticed that the tires just physically felt firmer. So I really did have to leverage your pressure gauge that you brought, which was great. Highly recommend if you're doing this trip, and it is going to be incremental weather that's going to be changing. That was a huge win for both of us, that we could both like physically see the pressure, because the thing is, like,
and a pump, obviously,
right? Yeah, but we could only find bike shops in basically the afternoon to evening, because we usually get riding by 7-ish every day. No bike shops are open till 10 or 11. So if you want like a floor pump to maintain pressure, you're not going to find it. There's literally no way that you're going to be able to do that. So your Lezyne pump, which is the same one I have, you just have the medium version, killer. Pressure gauge, great. I think that really did help with us and the weather that we had.
And we were able to plan things. Like, we knew we were going to have a section of gravel that was going to be 6 to 7 miles long. So obviously we knew that ahead of time we could comfortably stop, run a comfortable pressure and then pump it back up at the end, back on the road. And then you were good to go.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. Yeah. We definitely did air down quite a bit for that one gravel descent that we had.
Yeah. The gravel up and down through the vineyards.
Yeah. So and that'll be on the video. That'll be on the series. Yeah. Look at this guy. He knows what's up. So I mean, that was the thing. It was just like, it was basically our rigs, I think, were solid. I think everything that I posted in my setup worked great. Mario hooked it up and helped me out with the saddlebag because mine ripped. So I had the Rock Bros one that you had, dude. No problems. Yeah. Surprisingly, granted, we modified it a little bit beforehand, which we'll get into a little bit later, but that was great. I had my ratio for gearing was a 34 front and the 10 to 52 rear 12 speed with the Ratio Tech conversion. So if you haven't seen that video, I have a review for that. I am so happy I ran that. I could not keep up with you on a few flats because you like to send it first class sometimes. So besides that, there was a few times when, if I'm doing over 27 miles an hour, I just either had to coast or wait or whatever. But besides that, great. The kit worked well. The ratio, I think, was fine. I would rather have the legs and the climbing ratios than the top end for the 7th day.
Yeah, for sure.
There was a few parts on the first day we were feeling spicy after a few beers, and I wanted to get it going and get it there faster, and I couldn't. But besides that, I mean, 27 miles an hour on the flats was enough end.
Yeah, definitely.
And you were running
38 in the front, and then in the back it's E13 950, which was also awesome.
Yeah, still 12 speed.
Yeah, 12 speed.
Yeah,
super good.
And definitely something that I'm going to mention in my review for the Garbarook cassette that I was running. I do prefer granted, I haven't run your exact cassette, but the E13 cassettes are a lot tighter ratioed for the first few. So for road, if you're kind of in that first 5, it's really nice and smooth, and then it kind of gaps up as you go. Yeah. The Garbarook's a little more similarly spread, so there's a few times where I was kind of in between gears. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt good. I felt really good. The only times that sucked were when I bent my derailleur hanger and I didn't have access to all of my gears, but that was my fault, not the bike's.
Yeah, so we'll segue into bags and setup versus the two of us, and then we'll get into that. So I had a traditional, I think, bike packing setup. I had the saddle bag. It was a 10-liter Rock Bros. I had the outer shell small frame bag, which I thought wasn't going to hold enough, but it was killer. And then I had the Kai Venture, basically cockpit setup. So all day bag, and then the Maglock caddy and the snack caddy. And then that's pretty much, that's pretty much everything. I did carry some stuff obviously on my person, but that doesn't count. So what was your setup compared?
I figured that while riding, I wasn't going to need very much. So I had most of my stuff in the tail fin. And then on the bike in the front, I just had the top tube and 2 feed bags, and that's it.
And so,
and I had my wallet and phone on.
You had your hip bag,
a thin hip bag.
Yeah. So
face mask and whatnot.
So what was? I don't even remember. What was your big, I want to get the tail fin, because we never even talked about that before the trip. You just told me hey man, I ordered this. So I want to know, we've both seen it. I've seen it plenty of times. I don't know. It never hooked. It never
honestly
clicked.
Targeted ads, dude.
Damn.
Targeted
okay.
Ads.
All right.
They're paying money for something. I literally got a thing up, and it was a few weeks before the trip. It was 2-3 weeks before.
Yeah, it was close.
3-4 weeks.
Because you were worried. You got the last few pieces a week and a half before, maybe
on the ad. It says they knew it. I was get it in less than a week delivery time. I was oh, that's and then it was just I ended up getting a tail fin. But I got the alloy one, the one that's no frame. It's just the frame attached to the bag.
Yeah. So that was So yours, and if everybody, we're gonna try to figure out some kind of joint review for this, because I have my own thoughts on it, because I thought it was rad for certain things, but there's
cons and pros.
Yeah. There's definitely, for the shorter rider, one, but two, it's just it was way more convenient overall. The quick consensus, conveniency over
yes, for a small frame, that was the main reason.
Yeah,
originally I was gonna run a Paradise bag, but it kept hitting on the back tire, and then I tried to put another seat bag that I have, same backpacking style, a Specialized one. Again, I had an inch to my tire, so again, short people problems. And even though you got
to give the people how tall are you?
Oh, I'm 5'7".
There we go. All right.
So my bike is a size, I don't even know, size 52, size 54, something like that.
Yeah, so Mario rides a 52 most of the time. The Salsa is a 54.5, but Salsa size is weird.
Oh yeah, size is weird. Yeah, but still, I only have a little bit of seat post showing normally.
Yeah.
So it sucks.
Yeah. So there was definitely something that I never realized between the two. So bag wise, loved all my setup. It was great having everything that I had. But you being able to access everything from the top was killer. Like there was a time when it rained multiple times, and if I didn't pack my rain jacket on the end of my saddlebag or whatever, or when we got to LA the final day and it rained and I didn't think it was going to, and we both didn't. It was like mid-ride, we're like, oh dude, it might be like raining by the time we get there. Yeah. My rain jacket was packed all the way in the front because that's what made sense packing wise. So there was definitely a weight advantage for my setup. It was about 2 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
But yours was so much more convenient, especially if things were going to be, not how you expected. Like I didn't expect rain the last day. Neither of us did, but it did. And it sucked. I literally had to pull everything out of my saddlebag to get my rain jacket out. So
yeah, the convenience factor of access.
Yeah, that was definitely is yeah. So for me, riding wise, I definitely recommend what we did as far as training goes. So ride a lot with the weight because 100% my bike, it didn't want to corner. It felt funky, but like you got used to it. Now I don't know what it feels like without it. Like I haven't, we both at this point have not ridden our bike since, let alone unweighted. So I have no idea what it feels like now, but do that because it's just something that you need to learn because it does handle very differently at our weight categories. Yeah. So mine, I wanted to say fully loaded, full food, probably meaning 2 days worth of food and camera and everything, 40 pounds.
You know, it's close to the 44, 45 range.
Yeah. And your setup being obviously an aluminum frame and your tail fin, about 4 pounds heavier probably between frame and tail fin setup.
But we also had we had a speaker, we had
we had niceties,
a lot of stuff that obviously we couldn't do without.
Yeah, but I highly would recommend it as well. Like your speaker was super business. And that was the JBL Clip 4.
Yeah.
Okay. I carried my camera, so like granted, he carried the extra weight for the speaker. And that was beneficial for both of us. But also, like, you got, like, killer shots of yourself that I took all the time, like, throughout the route. So we both did our own thing. But it was definitely something for me. It was a nice break. Like, just like, I'm going to put my camera out. This is beautiful. I'm take a picture. Or, hey, you know what? Like, there's sometimes where, like, I wanted it as an excuse for us to, like, oh man, I'm tired. Like, let's just shoot a shot here. This can look cool. Like, whatever. And now, excuse. Yeah. And that was the thing is like, it really didn't, for me, inspired kind of back the love I have for photography. Mm-hmm. And like, we got some amazing shots.
And the only problem is like no video or picture is going to do it justice.
Oh, like, no, not at all. No,
dude, some of the views, like, oh my God. Honestly, if anyone's considering this trip, do it. Some of the views that you get are like ridiculous out of a movie, or like you're looking into a screensaver of a computer. Like screensaver. No, dude, oh man, it's crazy.
No, 100%. Like I think that there were points where we both looked at each other and just like, this is dumb pretty. Like this is so. What? Like exactly. Like day one, you'll see it on Friday. The coastal shot, like God, it's a super short section of absolutely nothing that you'd expect. You come around this corner and there's this coastal view that you hit, and it's just
and a descent.
So you're not even pedaling, obviously. I was gonna put it on there like illegal. Your illegal tuck, because you can't do that anymore. Yeah. But no, it's hilarious of just sometimes there's just this subtle moments of just nothing that you don't expect. And we hit it and we're like, damn, that was pretty. Like that was, I mean, literally we both said that multiple times on this trip. Yeah. Multiple times.
The change of scenery too.
Yeah. Crazy.
Like from day to day, it was so different. Like you look at the mountains and you're like, wait, I don't know. This is crazy.
it was the whole experience was totally worthwhile. I mean, we're both still paying for it. I'm still a little sore, but yeah, it was great. I think mechanically, like bike wise, bag wise, we nailed it.
Yeah, no issues there.
And then let's get into route. So route wise, you'll see in the future videos, we are going to be updating, and I'm going to be putting basically my Strava GPX route that we physically did every single video, so that everyone who's watching, if you want to do it, use our route. We drastically changed it since what? Day 3?
About, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because day 1, a little bit of the cat out of the bag. You know, we went all the way to Santa Cruz instead of Davenport, like we originally planned.
Changed it since 1.
Yeah, well, technically, yeah, but it was still the same route at that point. So after that, we really would recommend this for anybody who's doing this, and we don't know enough, you know, because this is the first time. We literally Googled and looked up routes every night.
Yeah.
Like
and different sources.
Yeah.
To get different ideas.
You had what?
I had Komoot running, and obviously we were using Google.
Yep.
And then I tried to use a ride with GPS for a little bit, but it was a little confusing.
Yeah.
But the point is, we were looking at several sources, and then from there, figure out like, oh, this might be good. And we kept doing that. Remember, we kept
every day. And I mean, man, there was at least 2 days. I think we did like a Google and our route together.
Yeah, correct.
So that was the thing, is where you want to stay. We called it froggy, but like you just want to be able to adapt. We luckily, because of us doing if everyone who's watching this watched the Instagram story, saw that we did day 2 and 3, we combined it into one day.
Yeah.
So because of that gave us some wiggle room for the ride, and we're just like, oh well, now we can do this, or we can do that, or we can rest or not ride as much, or ride more.
Yeah.
And that gave us a lot of room, especially with the rain. But literally every day, every night after our second dinner, typically we would both sit down and we just look at the different routes that we had versus what I had routed already versus Google versus your Komoot, and then just see like what made the most sense
for what we wanted to ride also,
right?
Because we had different options. Like,
right.
Yeah, we could hammer down 101, or we could, take a scenic route, or we could, I don't know, like the ability to have the options open was pretty nice.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing with for me. It was because we combined those 2 days, day 2 and 3, into one. It gave us options for the rain. That was, for me, that was the biggest win in that aspect.
Yeah,
where I didn't want to be on the 101 in the rain during a crazy descent that I knew we were going to have. That was going to be boss. But like, I didn't want to be out there during that point.
No, yeah.
So
agree.
So that allowed us room to, hey, we're gonna relax tonight. Tomorrow's we're a day ahead of schedule already, so no worries. And instead of being in the rain for or having a ride that was 50 to 65 miles, it could be in the 40s for 2 days in a row, and you'll see that in the final videos. And it really allowed us to not be in the rain as much as we had to be, because we didn't want to get sick. 1, 2, I didn't want to be doing 50 miles an hour on the 101 in the rain.
Yeah.
I'm scared enough in the dry. So that was a big thing.
Whoever lives in like rainy areas and you
Portland
ride
or whatever,
continuously during the rain, oh my god, that is tough. Sunny Southern California, hardly any rain.
Yeah,
those are the recovery days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, and we got rained on. We got hailed on, like technically for like 10 minutes. Like it was a lot. Like there was a point where we both.
It was definitely a gear check too.
Oh my god! Yeah,
my rain gear semi sucked.
Yeah, no, all like nothing we had worked the best because
obviously
we're in California. We're in California. So like we know, and mad respect for everyone in the comments or is like, oh, these guys don't know what rain really is. Like I get that. I 100% get that. But that was just what it was. It was just like, all right, well, I'm not gonna buy gear that I'm never gonna use.
Yeah.
And my REI jacket worked okay, like I could have thrown my shorts on and been a little bit warmer, but we lucked out, and I think that translates into the video of what we learned.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think we rode more total like than 30 miles in the rain.
No,
if that.
Yeah, 30, 40.
That.
Yeah.
And that's scattered between several days. So we got lucky. We definitely did.
So I think overall that went well. I think route wise, like you have to be diligent about looking at what route you plan versus what route you really want to do, because for us that changed. I mean, there was the first day that was the worst of the rain. I don't think we left the hotel till like we called
12.
Yeah, I called late check-in or late check-out so that we could it was like, hey, look, and I even
figured out that we had from 12 to 4 to get there, or else it was going to rain.
And
we still start raining at 4 when we were going to get.
Yeah, and we still got rain.
It stopped raining at 12 when we left. So it's like, ugh.
And we still got rain either way. But yeah, no, I mean, I called the concierge and I said, hey, can we get late checkout? I was like, we're physically biking out of here. Can we get an extra hour? And they were totally cool. Didn't, charge us an extra day or anything crazy. And
you guys are gonna ride in the rain?
Yeah, and no, we got sympathy if anything. So 100% tell your story because that works beautifully. So yeah, I think that allowed us the ability to not have to be stuck out, because I think if we would have ridden at the pace we originally planned, the day that we would have ridden in the rain would have been at least an extra 20 miles.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, and that's at minimum an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds very slow, but when your bike's 40 something pounds and you're 4 days in, like that's kind of the pace that you expect. Like that's a lot to add. And it was thick, heavy rain in that morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
again for us.
Yeah,
dude,
for us. For us.
Rain.
Yeah. But yeah, it was an aggressive rain. So besides that, after that, route wise, you'll see in the videos, I think we did well.
Yeah.
I think we did minus some mileage. So I think we were closer to 505 than 550. Totally fine. I think it was more enjoyable the route that we did. So definitely, like I said, if you haven't turned notifications on, please do, because these videos I'm really working hard on, and I think they're going to be awesome. And this is what I love doing, and I've been able to kind of put together my love of photography and the videos and this ride and everything all together. So I think this was super fun for me. And this is your first tour. I called it bikepacking from San Francisco to LA, which I know I'll get flamed for, but technically we're bikepacking.
Credit card. Somebody said in the comments, credit card
packing. I don't know. You know what? Ted King just did this in his video, and no one gave him shit. So like, no one, don't.
Having a hotel, a warm bath
is great. It is amazing,
dude. Being able to wash your clothes and like use a hair dryer. I mean, I was gonna say money can't put a price. Yeah,
money can't put a price on it. Yeah, it's a little bit more than than your standard.
No, but like well planned. The Motel 6s that we were looking at were like $50, $60. So realistically, like it's not even that bad.
Yeah, no, and for the video, just for everybody who's thankfully watching this live stream, we use my Best Western points because I had that for my old job, so we use that a lot. But realistically, we again, if you've watched the route video, we planned for the Motel 6.
Yeah.
And would that have been not as great? Yes, 1,000%. But would have broken
what we wanted.
It wouldn't have lessened the overall ride, but the sleep quality and like some of the niceties that we had, especially with the breakfast and everything else, kind of worth it. So look at it in the sense of, if you are doing what we're doing, look at it in the sense of like, for the Best Western Vista Motel 6, I looked at it as like, okay, look, it's $20 more a night. It's usually a better bed, minus King City. You get full continental breakfast. The breakfast is usually better and better spread wise, especially for us because we're both vegan. So that alone, if you're planning like a Starbucks visit in the morning, like that can make or break the difference. So don't discredit the slightly nicer places, because if you really look at it at the end of the day, especially if they have a good breakfast, you can save a lot.
I mean, I think there's a price point for everyone. You can also stay at Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah, sure.
Spot.
Yeah,
it's just whatever you want.
A black card and you're trying to bike back.
The thing is that it was my first tour.
Yeah.
And
same.
Could we have done it camping? Yes.
Yes.
We have the gear, potentially.
It
would have been an extra, like, I don't know, a whole lot of planning, trying to find campsites.
Logistically,
we wouldn't have been able to move around as easily. Like, stop here, go there. We'd be more set. We'd have to make reservations at campsites. I'm assuming I just can't roll up, or I don't know. Like, for this trip, it was nice.
Yeah. No, I think now that we know, could we bike pack? Sure. Logistically, it is more difficult. I 100% agree with what Mario just said. I think logistically, for anyone, credit card camp it if you can't. I mean, Lord knows, I don't make much money on this YouTube channel, and I did it. And thank you for everyone who helped support and sent some burrito money over. But that was the way to do it. Yeah. I don't physically know how I'd be able to do the 7 days right now, at least in our current physical state. Also camping.
Yeah, it would be a lot tougher.
Like, that's such another level that we want to get to.
Props to the Tour Divide riders, man.
Oh my god,
people that
300, like
that's what's up. That's
300 miles, nothing,
impressive.
Whatever. No, I think that's the big thing of I could do it, but it wouldn't be as pleasant.
Yeah,
and I think that's mainly it. Like, my camping setup for bikepacking is better than it was when we started, and I now have like a Boss sleeping mat that's helps out, blah blah blah. But campsites you gotta find, like, luckily me and you both did not have to poop on the side of the highway.
Yeah,
on this whole, and we both had baby wipes just in case, and we both also said, like, hey, who's gonna do it first? That never happened, but we probably would have to sleep on the side of a highway or like an offshoot or whatever, So I think
any trip would be good as long as you plan it to your realistic goals. Like, I don't know, this is what we wanted to do, and we planned it out this way. But either way you do it, like we're planning to do other trips that will be bike camping, like straight up camping, and I'm so excited. Woo! Even though we're gonna be like 15 pounds heavier.
Right. Yeah. Be like, but
still, those are a different kind of adventure.
Yeah, I think for this, it made the most sense. I think our balance of enjoyment to like difficulty ratio was spot on. I think we nailed it that way. I think I loved the trip. I'm sore, my back hurts, whatever, like my legs feel good, but whatever it is, like, but at the end of the day, like, it was still enjoyable for me.
Yeah, sure.
Because the way we did it.
Yeah.
And we had enough time, and if we nixed the rain, there was like Solvang, I would have loved to explore and been there
definitely
in the afternoon and had the day. But that was because of the weather we had.
Yeah.
Could we have done the coast the whole way? Sure. Maybe next time.
Yeah. When they fix that one broken
part. Big Sur. Yeah, when Big Sur gets fixed. A lot of people ask us about that. Like when I said, like, oh, we're riding, like, oh, well, how'd you get around this? Like, we just went inland, like
Yeah.
But I think that was the big thing for me, is just like the enjoyment factor versus the difficulty. I think we nailed both very, very well, because I think it could have been harder, but it didn't need to be for what we figured out. So I think I really would recommend, if you want to do this ride, our route I think it's the best one I've seen.
Well, I mean, there's not a lot
I know it's not, but I'm just saying, like, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like, if you really think about the whole thing overall, and what you've seen, not obviously on my channel, but just overall what we watched,
it was a pretty good route. Yeah, definitely.
I think, and our fuck ups that we had, we circumvented, and we made it work. And realistically, anyone watching this who downloaded the route, like, if we downloaded our own route, what, 30 minutes a day at least of just us figuring it out? Because like Mario and me both were just like on it between our two cell phone services, like whoever has worked. Where do we go? And I think we both figured it out, and I think our route is the best way to do it, self-supported.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one.
Yeah, I think we figured out some cool offshoots from the original route.
Yeah, I think something super important that we did was the pacing.
Yeah,
we knew what our physical limitations were and our strengths. So I mean, at least myself, I mean, I run a power meter, and so do you.
Yeah.
So I knew where my range was, where I wanted to stay the entire trip, and I did. I was probably off only by 10 or 20 watts at a time. Like, I never, I don't know, sprinted real quick or did this. I try to keep a very controlled pace. And honestly, I think it was perfect, because the last day to get up to the Hollywood sign.
Oh my God.
We weren't expecting that.
Oh my God. So everyone who's like, when we 42 minutes in.
Was it Mulholland Drive or something?
My God.
Oh, geez.
So we'll talk about that before we get into questions. But oh my God, it was mile 100.
Yeah.
Out of the 505 that we did. And the last 2.5 miles were like 8 to 16%.
It was raining.
Something dumb, and it was raining, and it was just like we had this crazy. We thought we were going to avoid it because Google was like trying to originally Google was going to get us away from this crazy route, but it didn't. And then we turned on the street. Mario asked some random stranger, and she was like, "Y'all are dumb. Go this way, honey." Like she talked to you like a mom. Like, she's like,
We look lost.
Yeah, she's like, no, don't come down this road. And we go, and I'm yelling at everything because they were both hurting so bad, and just like, but it was such a beautiful moment, because for me it was just like we were just cracking up because I was laughing, but it was so painful.
Yeah, but again, if we wouldn't have had the pacing prior to,
100%,
dude, we would have been so
done.
We wouldn't even made it up the climb.
The 12 miles, the last 12 miles, Strava and Google said it was going to take us an hour and 45. That's how steep the fucking climb was.
Yeah, no,
that's how steep the climb was, because there was a lot of lights, and we were on Santa Monica Boulevard for a little good bit, but
weaving through traffic, messengers and stuff.
Yeah, what? He's trying to do the best premium Rush impression. But besides that, no, it was insane, and the climb was dumb steep.
It was pretty. It's nice up there.
Oh my God!
Then that little gravel offshoot at the end.
Oh yeah. So and again, you'll see it in the end. There's this gravel road. I don't know how Google recommends that, but
I don't know. But
sure.
I was happy.
Mine is like 2 parts. You could have totally done that on a road bike.
Yeah.
There's 2 sections that were
the whole thing could be done on a road bike.
No, yeah, but you'd have to walk
slower.
You'd have to walk it. So mine is that. totally road bikeable, the whole thing. But man, just being done. That last 2 miles was like the hardest thing. It was so difficult. And I think that was the worst part for me. Everything else felt great.
Yeah.
That was the worst. 12% at mile 101, like not the jam. Like that was very difficult.
For me, it was 10 miles in the rain the first day.
That was okay.
Because
okay.
I was already soaked. My jacket pretty much got soaked through. I don't know how people ride in the rain with glasses, and then like, how do you see? Or maybe just my glasses needed something else.
Sure,
dude, it was just so much water. And then you like lift your glasses up, and you're like,
I don't know. Yeah,
dude,
wait.
it's
So
just so
yeah,
uncomfortable.
I don't get how you did you took them off sometimes. I get how.
I was trying to figure it out.
That helped. Was that better? Because I think that was way worse. Like,
yeah, that was probably the rain. Just because then I'm not used to it. Was the most uncomfortable of the ride. Other than that, though, it was all legit.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean that was. Yeah, it was a big ride. It was cool. Yeah. I mean, last things we'll say before we get into the questions. So getting to Santa Cruz, worth it, 100%.
Yeah.
Do the extra distance if you can. If you do get stuck, Davenport's fine. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Done.
I think it's pretty much like what you want to do for the night.
Right.
So like we knew that some nights we were gonna rest, we were gonna be tired. So we looked for whatever city. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
But the nights that we knew that we were gonna get there a little earlier, we wanted to enjoy the town. Well, obviously you look for something that's gonna have options.
Yeah. No, then that's 100%. 100% it. So if you like the King City day, I'm glad we did the 100 because like I was so disheveled at that end of the day. Like I was like, I don't care. This town has like nothing for us to do. Like, granted, yes, if you with our dietary restrictions, not a lot that we could have and hang out or whatever. There's not even a bar to go drink beer at that place that we found. And
there was no Uber, and we were gonna
exactly.
So
after 100 180 miles, like the last thing you want to do is sit in your bike for like 30 minutes. So 100%. So plan it accordingly. The days that you're going into that kind of town, kill yourself. Like just do it because it's worth it. Like you're just like, oh, that's fine. I'm gonna get Del Taco and whatever, and then like I'm gonna go to bed. Like we watched a lot of
Naked and Afraid,
Homestead Rescue. That was it. But besides that, like if you're going to do an easy day, do it into a town that looks like they have cool things to do. Yeah. Solving was rad, and if we would have been there 4 hours earlier if the rain hadn't happened, and we could have totally hung out, seen Solving Brewing Co., all this cool stuff, but we couldn't because of the rain. So if you can plan it accordingly, do that. And give yourself some flexibility. I mean, we definitely learned that on the road is just figuring out what worked, what didn't, messing around with the route every single night, basically, to see what made the most sense for the next day. So, all right. So all 78 of you, we will be taking your questions. All right. So let's go back.
Dude, I need some reading glasses, man.
Okay, so we got called out a lot by the temperature. Like, there's like someone goes like, "Oh, it's 27 degrees in New York." I'm like, "Oh no, man,
dude, we're babies." I mean, come on, sunny Southern California.
Yep. 14.
Jeez, no,
that's not okay.
Yeah,
like,
no, I would not be outside.
No. Yeah, nope. Okay, so let's see. Storm. Here we go. This is for you. That Storm Chaser is damn fine.
Yeah, she is.
So, okay, so you got to talk about the build a little bit.
It originally was meant to be a single speed frame. That's still in the works, like in my plans, but I'm waiting for a steel frame. So in the meantime, we built it up geared, and that's what I've been running because I like the clearance, super good clearance, super nice frame, compliant, good, stiff. Those are probably contradicting, but I mean, I don't know. I like it. I can't really. I mean, the components I'm running are pretty legit, in my opinion. So
yeah,
bike feels solid.
Well, yeah, he's running like Axis ETAP on his Storm his single speed. So yeah, so this one is more or less pressure for climbing. I always ran about 5 more ish psi per tire for climbing, especially the first day, because the first day was 5,300 feet, 5,400 feet, something like that. So if you are climbing, especially tubeless, especially on bigger tires, a little bit does help. So my Gravel Kings, I think, max at 60. What was do you remember the max for your
60?
Okay. So
I personally was a little lazy, so I just set 1 psi in the morning, depending on what I thought was going to be the ride.
No, for sure. Yeah.
But I didn't adjust it during the ride.
Right. Yeah, but you would run more that day than you would like day 2 when we have a little bit of gravel. And
I only changed it for the gravel section.
Yeah.
I air down and then for the rain. Apart from that, whether it was flat or not, I personally didn't really. Yeah. So I was 50 straight.
Okay. So use we've both tried the SRAM air pressure website. Yeah, I'll add it to the description probably after this is done. But SRAM does have a good guesstimate on what you should. So they literally take your body weight, your bike weight, your internal room width, what you're riding, and tire size, and they give you a recommended pressure. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
We ran very similar to that, basically.
Definitely.
Let's see here.
I think it's a good base. Sometimes a little off, especially like one of my gravel preferences, but for road, it's good.
Yeah. Let's see. I have the Rock Rose bag. Yeah. Definitely was super surprised at how good, like, the Rock Rose bag held up. Like it I was shocked. And you know what's funny is, like, I had the Ross wheel bag before, which was fine for a while. This one, the 2 things that stood out were the little insert to make it like hug against the seat post, to make it thicker, because my Roswell, I just wrapped a bunch of bar tape around it to make it thicker.
Hard foamy.
Yeah, that was dope. They had a couple of aluminum pieces in there I took out that worked well for us. Still don't know why they were in there.
Rigidity, but I mean overall.
Yeah, and it was fine. But yeah, no.
Over here.
Yeah, but totally, totally lightened the thing up. No, it was great. No complaints. Minus, again, compared to yours, the storage thought process had to be very thought out the day or the morning of, because like I was like, all right, if I need to grab anything out of this, what is it going to be?
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Let's see here. Okay, so from, let's see, Wallbank, did bags hold up well in the wet weather? For me, yeah. The Rock Rose bag, minus the things that I took out, which did open up holes technically for them. It's stated as a waterproof bag. That was fine. I was super surprised with how well the Kai Venture stuff held up, because that had X-Pack inside and Cordura outside. Cordura has fabric, it soaks up whatever. No problem. Like my camera that I shot photography on, and if you've been following me on Instagram, you've been seeing it. Totally held up, and I was shocked. Like I had a plastic baggie over it the first day, just in case.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to soak through. What about you?
The tail fin is definitely it's airtight and watertight. It's like some plasticky bag material, like thick, very, very thick, but nice. But the downside to that is that it's so airtight that I threw some wet legging things in there.
Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah,
and then
We'll
everything in my bag got soaked. Like the humidity from those leggings just soaked everything up. So I ended up getting dryer sheets afterwards, and throwing like a whole layer of dryer sheets underneath just in case for the next time.
That's some pro tip stuff right there. Okay, what about your was it the Blackburn stem bags you had?
Oh yeah, those I don't think those are fine. I only had food in there, so nothing got like wet. And then that top tube, it was like an Amazon $20 special one. It was stated as waterproof. It stayed waterproof. No complaints there.
Yeah, and we even did the bolt on.
Yeah.
So if you if you have a strap on bag, watch my video on how we did the Revlet design bolt on bag, because basically you did the same conversion to his, and that works fine, and it works great and looks super clean. So let's see what else.
We obviously didn't do any river crossings, you know.
Here you go. This is Ryan. He wrote this for the Grindero. You guys look like you got some sun. Yeah. Oh yeah. So put some sunblock on. I had SPF 70 from Target, and you did too. Yeah. And we
didn't get burnt. We just got a little bit of color.
Yeah, and like realistically, we probably should have put more on in the ride. But in the morning, I'd always put like some here, never above my eyes, because Mario learned that the hard way. It'll sweat right into your eyes, and it sucks. So always do it below your eyeballs. And then like day 3, I noticed the tan here, like on the side of the eyes underneath the glasses. Mm-hmm. So I'd put some more up there. But besides that, yeah, the SPF 70 from Target worked well, and it was like a travel size. It was good.
I was trying not to get roasted, so I wore a long sleeve shirt and long pants most of the time.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you get stronger the last few days? I think
definitely.
Yeah, we mentioned this the last few videos. I think I'm not sure. I haven't edited them all yet. I think day 4, I was just like, we both got to this like crescendo of like, my legs feel like garbage a little bit, and that's kind of it. Like that was just like, it was just like, you really get worn down first 3 days. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even your whoop score went up the roof after that. So so I think the first 2 days are the worst, and then it starts getting better. Yeah. For me, and I think for you, and you can speak to this, is just like, I felt decent after day 3. Like, yeah, my legs were sore, but like after like an hour of riding, like felt kind of like just riding, just like whatever. Now, granted, if we took any stops, it took a lot longer to get back into the, we're just riding. Like I'd be a little or a little sore or a little whatever for the first 30 minutes. But after that, it got better. So for me, it was just like after day 3, it just took a longer to get into like riding rhythm. And then it just kind of just sailed through that. Yeah. So what about you?
Yeah, same. The first 3 days, I mean, I didn't feel tired. Like I didn't feel bad, but my whoop score definitely dropped. It was like green, then yellow, and then red. And then after the 3rd day, it started climbing back up again. So, and that's when we also felt like, dang, hey, we're still like pretty fresh.
Yeah,
after
we're feeling good. Yeah.
But also, like, you know, the pacing was still good. It was crazy because near the end, I didn't really feel like I was dying.
No.
Like day 7. Yeah. But as soon as I got out of my like power window that I was like trying to stick to, my body was like, no, you're not. You're gonna stay right here.
Turn that down. Turn it down. That's what it was. Yeah.
So I think you just get used to this rhythm, which is pretty cool. Honestly, I was pretty surprised, like in a good way.
We were doing I think our average between the whole trip was like 115, 120 watts.
Yeah.
So for anyone who cares, like, that was kind of the sweet spot for us. I was in zone 2 majority of every day.
Yeah. Like my target watt was between 160 to 180. That's where I stuck the entire 200, but
yeah,
like that was it.
Yeah, the only time I really pushed hard was day 7 for the part where we had to get through Malibu.
Oh, yeah.
When I was pulling, and I was pulling hard because it was trash day. Plus, people had cars out, and we were kind of getting in and out of PCH, and it wasn't a great route in general. And I just wanted to slam through it, and it was like peak traffic time.
I think that's what it was. And the route itself is fine. Yeah. It's beautiful. It was just too many. It was a lot of cars.
Yeah, just a lot of cars. Only that day.
Yeah.
Every other day was
Friday.
Every other day was great. Every other day and every other time was amazing. But I did really crank it up for that part just to get us through that. And I was like, if I die after this, it's fine. And then the climb happened, and then I was like, oh, I shouldn't have sent it that hard. So.
But to answer the question, yes. Yeah. Towards the end, you definitely feel stronger.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Did a cross country in the 90s and where who naps?
Oh, jeez.
Boundaries, no planned routes, and good on you. Yeah. Hell to the
We had Google screaming at us, turn left in 600 feet.
Yep.
Like,
rain sucks while touring. Yeah, it does.
I think you get used to it. We just weren't prepared.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, if we had better gear, it'd been easier. When's the next one? Okay, so this. Okay, we can let a little bit out of the bag for all the 68 that are here. Oh man, it's been over an hour.
This is addicting. It really is.
I know. It's crazy. So the next one is going to be definitely. We know the route. We don't know when we're going to exactly do it. There's 2. Mm-hmm. We have 2 planned. There is the Catalina one.
Yes.
That I'm hoping to work with Toe Peak for that, for some bags.
So that'll be a bike packing full tent.
Yeah, full tent style. And then we want to do a long weekend Rosarita to Ensenada big loop version. That'll be road-ish.
Yeah, like kind of what here to the border, Mexico, TJ, and then keep going down Ensenada, Rosarito, and then back.
Yep. Oh, and do you remember what's the loop? Instead of just riding back, I don't know.
Oh, jeez, I don't remember.
That's fine. But that's
probably like 300-400 miles.
Yeah, that's we want to do it because it's. We don't mind doing the double back, but if we can like change something just to see something different, we will. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's gonna be the next one, hopefully. Let's see here.
There is no wrong way. Whoever said that is super correct. I don't know. Geez, I'm like scrolling through these comments.
Okay, here's Chris. During COVID times, we found that we have a
You know what? I was actually very pleasantly surprised to see that everywhere we stopped, COVID was being taken very seriously. All the hotels were on point.
Sure.
Every restaurant we went to, remember in Santa Barbara, they even like. They temperature gun you.
I got scanned.
You got to agree to their like safety list protocol, which is super cool. Everywhere we went, I mean, we had our masks and everything, and all. It was obviously COVID is still a thing, but I don't know. I think these trips are still doable.
No, it was funny because like I remember even that day I was like, oh, I got worried when she scanned us because I was like, dude, I was like, we've been in the sun all day, like we're probably running hot, like but we were still COVID compliant apparently.
Hot,
Like what up? But yeah, no, it was something I was genuinely worried about for a second. I was like, dude, we're probably like I know that I am residually warm for a bit after a ride. but yeah, it was definitely something that was unique to this trip. As you'll see in the video, we only had 2 people that joined us for the part, and Mike was very responsible and rode at a distance, and then the other guy on the single speed, he had double mask on. Like everyone was super cool, so it's definitely something that you have to be prepared for. But we kind of knew that going in, and we just figured, like, you know, if there's no places to eat, whatever, we go to the grocery store or liquor store or whatever, and we get something. So we kind of knew that going in.
Yeah, but with the campsites though, that would have been tough. That would have been super tough.
Yeah, a lot more complexities to the route. What's this? I camped at the refugee hike.
You know what? Somebody mentioned that the bike trip is not you don't start it until you have a second breakfast. Michael and I aren't very breakfast eaters.
Yeah, no, we did second dinner. Yeah, so does that count? Who is that? So we get a highlight their comment.
Sean Gold.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the homie right there. Yeah, he knows. No, 100%. If there was like anything, it'd be second dinner for us, and then second breakfast.
We're more of a light breakfast.
Yeah. Get out on the road. We didn't want to mess around. Yeah, like maybe hour 1 or 2 we'd get something if we're gonna get breakfast somewhere. But yeah, that was the jam for us. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, here's a good question for you, Mario. Did you consider TT bars?
I did. I actually wanted to run some, but I'm running a hover bar from Specialized. It has like a 15 millimeter raise. Or 20, one of the two. The point is, right where the little bend is where ideally the little clip-ons would go. So it just didn't work for my setup. But at the end of the day, I don't think I really needed them. With the fit that I have now on this bike, I have the stack pretty high. So I'm running it super comfortable, where I could just grab the drops, and honestly, it was super fine. I was on the drops probably 50% of the ride.
Yeah. I think that was the big thing for me too, is like I thought about it, but yeah, it's tough, like to do it like a TT, like, because I have a fit background, so like to do a TT fit properly, you have to adjust somebody's saddle position for that. But I think with the variety of what we rode, maybe I could have split the difference for you if you had TT bars, but like
I was trying to run the kitchen sink bars from Redshift,
but
which would have done the job, but I didn't get them in time, and we didn't it was gonna be too much, like too last minute. But other than that, I probably still wouldn't run the aero bars.
And that's the last thing that I would say too, is like, don't change your setup like 2 weeks prior, like we thought about doing. Don't do that. Like, just ride what you got. So. All right, so let's see what's last here. Let's see, moment that made you. Let's see. Okay, so what would make you say that this was the worth it trip? Like obviously we worked hard to finish it, but like, what was, via this comment, like the moment that made it worth it?
It was we did a really long descent after Solvang. Was it Solvang or Paso?
The freeway one?
Yeah, I don't remember. It was somewhere in the middle, on the 101, and it was a 7-mile descent on the highway. And I don't know, I had never like had the ability to get that long of a descent. And while I was on it, I was like, "Oh my god, this is the coolest trip ever! When am I gonna get to do this again?" Like, I don't know. It was it happened a lot of times when I saw the view.
Yeah,
they were pretty like I know it's like we live next to the beach, and obviously we ride by the beach a lot, but just a different change of scenery and just the beauty overall. It really, I don't know. It was like, I was so glad I went.
No, I mean, that day I felt bad because like I was hurting that day. That was day 4, and I wanted you to have, because I know you like the crazy descents. So like, I wanted you to have the descent, and we found that was the differentiating route from what we wanted. and we hit like I saw what it was gonna be. I was like, oh no, he's fine. Like hit this fine.
So nice.
What did you hit 49.8
no,
or
no,
something?
I was going 50 down the freaking highway.
It was close. No,
it was 50. The LA day I only got 49.
Okay. So it was 50 what?
It was like 50.5 or a little bit over 50. Fully loaded with the tail fin, 45 miles, 45 pound setup. It was awesome. It was super fun.
So yeah, I didn't do that. I slowed down. I was like, no, I'm good. Cause like I had already had the flat. So in the back, like I was just physically worried about my setup. Like that was it. And I never had to worry about it, but I just mentally was. So I kept it around like 35, 40. Still pretty good on a bike.
I'm a little sandy sometimes. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, here we go. This is good. What was yours? Chain lube situation.
Rock and Road Gold. That's what I used. I did it daily, and I had zero chain noise, and it was perfectly fine. Everything was. I would recommend it.
So I did the which I'm going to do a review for, the Bicycle Hardcore Chain Butter, which was amazing. 5 days, nothing, no noise, and then I forgot to lube it after that.
This guy. You would think he would remember to lube his chain.
Yeah. So besides that, it was great. I lubed it after that, but like that's a oil that you need to like let sit overnight, ideally. So highly recommend. And granted, in 5 days we did what most people do in a month-ish, realistically. So like, yeah, nah, come in. I mean, that's what we did. So still good, long lasting. The rainy days, I definitely had to use more of it, but yeah, I used the Bicycle Hardcore, used the Rock and Roll Gold. The dry,
yeah, go. I like the cleaning agent in it. Yeah. I think it makes it good.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here.
Okay, so somebody just asked on the bottom.
Okay.
About gloves.
Okay.
So I got some.
Yeah, you go for it. You had
for the rain. Since again I don't own any rain gear, I ordered black like dishwashing gloves, like straight up plastic that went up to here, and all I did was just put my glove under and then that thing over. And it was watertight. Honestly, it was super good. It did get a little hot after a while of no ventilation, but as far as waterproof, my stuff was fully dry.
Yeah, glove wise, we basically kept to like what I said in the bike setup video. I had the Specialized gloves majority of the ride, but in the mornings or if it got really wet or really cold, I would put on my Windstop bellwether gloves.
I wore some soup cast, or I don't know how you say it.
Supercast.
Yeah. Little shiny, blinky ones. Those are pretty cool.
And then I wore those the entire time. And then I had the like blue mechanic gloves that we use when we work on our bikes, and you had the dishwasher versions. But mine even worked great when it rained really hard. I just threw those on. They were cold maybe for 10 minutes, and then they kind of warmed up. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely hacks out there that you can save some money and not have to.
If I was continuously, like if I rode on the rain a lot, I would upgrade the gloves and I would get rain gloves. But for what we needed, nah.
Yeah, no, I think for sure it's the same thing. The blue gloves I would definitely recommend for like a descent, like if we were gonna do Crystal Lake or like GMR in the winter. 100% recommend. If we lived out there, I would say, yeah, we need to get some thicker, nicer shit, basically. But besides that, yeah, I think everything else worked pretty well. I didn't even have thermal bibs. I had thermals like arm warmers and leg warmers, but felt pretty good. And you had the what we call the Lululemons. He had
I had two pairs of like leg warm, like ones that were thicker.
Yeah, but they were essentially like yoga pants.
One of them, yeah, the thinner ones were super like like a wind barrier type thing. They were even see through. Like it was a little embarrassing, but it was fine for what I needed. It was fine. I wanted to cover the wind and the sun.
Okay, and then the thicker ones.
The thicker ones were some Amazon special for like $20-$30. They're like go over your bibs long. They're not thermal or anything, but like Beowulf or something is a brand. I don't know. They work fine. They're not like merino wool for the smell or whatever, which they did get a little stinky after the second day of not washing. But other than that, like just regular.
Cool. All right. So we have one. Let's see. Do you still like your seat? So yeah, I 100% power saddle. That's what both of us run.
Yeah, I have no complaints.
100%. Yeah. We both run 155s. I'm a body geometry certified fitter, and when I helped him get his bike fit, we measured him, and I just said like, this is probably the saddle width that you're gonna go with, and it's worked well.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't run the S Works lightweight little padded version, and neither did you. And I ran the Transx seat post, the anti-shock one that was I just did a review on. So that one helped. I think it helped a ton.
Yeah, that's one thing I wish I would have done or changed on my gear. I think I would have definitely gone with more suspension in my seat post for the roads that were really broken.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't long days, but we had 20 miles of just broken road, which could have been a lot faster if the fatigue in my rear end wasn't there.
No, we both were just like, oh my God. And then like the second we'd hit like pavement, we're like, ah! And then it would like mile per hour pick up like 3 at least. So yeah, that was definitely something I told you like during the ride, even like this seat post is the jam for you. I think for this route.
Yeah, carrying another extra 300 grams, I think would have not made any difference with my gear setup, and it would have made a lot of difference in my comfort.
Yeah, so same.
Next time, I'm definitely going some kind of suspension.
Yeah,
seat post.
Yeah. Let's see.
What are your tire widths, right?
Yep.
So mine was a 700 by 40 millimeter.
And mine was 700 by 38 and puncture resistant. So the thick boys. Oh, look at Chris. Oh, he's already on it. Yeah. So we'll leave it open for just a few more minutes before we end today. But oh man, the tan looks really aggressive. Oh man. But no, I think this whole trip was totally new, totally something we've never done, attempted, thought we could do. And we wanted to make it accessible for everybody else. So I think that if you download all the routes that we do for the final videos, it is definitely something that's feasible. We are not the most, we're not the 6'1", 130 pound, 6 watt per kilo riders. So whatever.
Almost.
Very close. But I think if you look at our stats and our route and everything else, like it's a realistic achievement that you can do.
Yeah,
I think that's what I wanted to. I wanted to do with this. Like, yeah, we felt good. We got sendy at parts, but like at the end of the day, we both said to each other, like, and I told him that every time we talked to the camera, look at it like you're talking to yourself. Look at it like you're talking to, you wanting to learn something from this, like from this trip. And I think that was the biggest proponent of this video series, is just like, I want to learn what I can from this specific trip. And then there's gonna be things that are gonna translate to our next one or the one after that or whatever, because we learned how to articulate, and how to work with every single day and what the weather's going to be like. And hey, man, it's going to rain at noon. Okay, well, what's the rain like at whatever at 1. Okay, well, let's get out of here at that point. So that's those kind of things you learn while on the road. And I think those things are going to be beneficial for us. But that's realistically what I wanted to, put in the series.
Yeah, for sure, to get out there. I mean, whatever ride you're planning to do or thinking about it, do it. Get out there.
I mean,
if we
can do it, I mean, you can do it too.
The planning is also super fun.
Yeah, I mean,
we planned a lot, I think, but
we did.
It could have been a little excessive, but honestly, it was worth it. We had the ability to just change things on the fly because we had prepared pretty good and kept it on our toes, kept it interesting. It was good. That's good, man. I would totally do it again. Can't wait for the next one. And if any of you guys want to join, a bigger group would honestly be cool. I mean, it's
this guy. All right. Well, I'll just walk off the channel. I think that was definitely fun. I think and Mike, shout out if he's watching this. Hopefully he is. Dude was a legend with information.
Sure.
Like we literally, you'll see in the video. I think I might have cut it out, but like. The Desitin was definitely the jam for you.
I mean, I don't know if it worked, but I mean, I was starting to feel a little sore in my tank.
You didn't feel worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I'll give it a try. Why not?
Yeah. So I mean, like, that's the thing is like we learned a lot. I think that was great.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts of this was like learning a lot. Yeah. So I think that at the end of the day, anyone who wants to do this, do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think our route, if you want to try it, like, do it.
Yeah.
Like,
and make it your own.
I think we made it pretty boss. Yeah. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, you're gonna see a lot of cool stuff. You're gonna definitely enjoy it. There's a lot of moments where you're gonna be like, man, I'll never see this part of California if I didn't see it this way. And I think that's kind of it. And
sure.
and so. Like I said, this Friday, episode 1 will be out. So I hope everyone will be excited for that. Let's see. Any last questions?
I think there's a few at the very end.
Okay.
Close it off.
Well, Mario's on it, so let's just see what's going on.
What? Oh, you never grew up? Okay. Was it expensive? I mean, if you count, it depends what hotels you want to stay.
Yeah.
Meals, you can go to the grocery store and just do that every day and not have to worry about it. Food, if you want to do fast food, you can. So it can be as expensive as you want it to be. If you go camping, obviously even the hotel isn't a factor.
Yeah, but I think that Motel 6 wise, minus like the weekend nights, I think we're all under like $70 with fees.
Pretty much.
Food wise, a lot of people say like, "Oh, you burn so many calories," and we did, but we also didn't like.
We did a grocery run every day.
Yeah,
and we also went out to eat.
Yeah, so that's what we did. So our perspective on it was, you get a nicer hotel. Granted, you can have, I don't need. Me and you both don't really do breakfast much, but you could do good coffee, like decent coffee. Let's say it's called decent coffee. And then, grab a couple things to put on the bike, go out, get food midday if you needed to, which we usually didn't.
Yeah.
And then we get to the city we wanted to, have dinner, and then get food for the following day after dinner, and then be done. Yeah. And that was it. So realistically, if you plan it well, it's not that expensive.
Honestly, we haven't even there's another question regarding money as well. Like, what was the bottom line of how much we spent? We haven't done the final list of what like the breakdown was.
But
we'll definitely get there.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple $100, several $100 depending.
And that's something we
hotels.
Yeah, we both split that pretty well, and we made something to figure that out. So I'll put that in another video of like how much it really costs, because realistically, like, we could have done a few things cheaper, but again, at the end of the day, like, would it have saved anything? You know, and so that was the thing with like in King City when we said that Best Western, they had no breakfast, so we went to
but that could have been a day where we could have stayed next door at Motel 6 and saved
exactly.
$60.
Exactly. We could have stayed at Motel 6 and then just gone to the Starbucks and spent the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things like that we'll talk about, and we'll get into that later. But I think realistically, if you're looking into it, we drove our rental car up there, and I got a little bit of a deal on it, but like $80.
Yeah, the one-way rental. We looked them up on Expedia. It was like $100.
And that was the way to do it. If you want to do it, if you want to fly. If you want to,
you also get to drive if you have the time, the route you're gonna ride.
And again, you'll see that in the first video of like how we drove some of it. But yeah, there's definitely some benefits to driving it and doing it the way we did. Yeah.
Another question: the sketchiest run-ins. I don't think we really had a lot of sketchy parts. I think the sketchiest part of the whole trip was the side winds you get sometimes, especially at high speeds. Obviously, I mean, you literally get pushed over 6 inches. Yeah. So a lot of times we did have to ride in the middle of the lane because we were getting pushed around quite a bit. Yeah. That was the sketchiest run, I guess you could say, in my opinion.
Yeah. The descent, the big 50-miler. Or 50
the 7-mile descent. Yeah, that was a pretty sketchy one.
that was a lot. That was like you hit this open section, and then you like, for me, I felt the tail end go around. I was like,
yeah,
I'm good. And then I just like slapped the brakes a little bit and
it's the advantage of the tail fin; it does not move.
That was
fully rigid setup, so you have all of the confidence when downhill and like cornering.
Yeah, so that was definitely a game changer for me at that point. I was like, oh nope, I'm not gonna do that.
And then did greasy food make you feel gross? Nah, fries were heaven sent. Yeah, French fries were pretty good. On the bike, we didn't really have any greasy food other than like trail mix, chocolate, or I don't know if you count that as greasy, but not really a lot of greasy stuff until dinner.
We did good. We did well.
Yeah.
Like we basically were pretty hardcore on not cycling specific food while on the bike. Like we did well on like
it was like a balance.
Like real food. Real food. So we did real food a lot. For me, that's been huge. Even when we were training, like just real food just hits different. I don't know what the kids say these days. But no, it just did well for both of us.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to change any of that because we're 500 whatever miles in. So we didn't do a lot of that. But the one thing we did do that worked is the fries and Coke stops.
Oh yeah.
That was the jam. Yeah, because it was just like hot food, cold Coke. It just worked. It just
sometimes a beer.
Yeah, sometimes a beer. Yeah, no, sometimes a beer. It worked well, like very well, because it hit just enough for us to get through whatever phase we had to.
Yeah.
So I think that was definitely beneficial.
And then the one of I don't know, the last one is pretty much, is there anything we would have brought or not brought on the trip?
Okay. All right. We can wrap this up with this one because this is pretty good. So what do you think?
So the only thing I would say I would have liked to, again, is the suspension seat post. Apart from that, I don't think I would have changed one thing. Oh, yes, I would have also brought a spare derailleur hanger for me because I dropped my bike, no kidding, like about 6 times on the trip.
At least.
On the derailleur.
No.
On the
no, but fully loaded.
Yeah,
like boom! like it's on the end of the bed. He's like getting up and he like knocks it over, like fully 50 pounds, like right on the derailleur hanger. Like,
so other than that, derailleur hanger and seat post, that's pretty much it. I don't think I would have brought anything else. I think I actually we took a little too much stuff in my opinion. We didn't need lights. We didn't need water filters.
We didn't.
We didn't need half the bottle of electrolyte pills. I mean, we actually took a lot. I had so much extra food when I got back. I still have food for like my next few rides.
I know. I had food for the next day. I didn't even want to get up to my pantry. I just like leaned over and grabbed food out of my bike. But yeah, no, I think that's definitely true. I think we over prepared, which is better than under prepared, obviously. But yeah, I think we did it right. I mean, we figured it out. We don't know what we're doing, and we did it.
Fun.
You know,
it's fun.
So I think so I think if you want to do it, comment in this video if you have any questions. I'll be adding my Strava link in there, so if you want to follow the route yourself, you can. Appreciate everybody else who's been in this. But yeah, it was just a good time.
Yeah, it was fun. We learned a lot, and honestly, it made well, now that we did a San Francisco to Los Angeles trip, dude, everything else local or like weekender seems like small. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, quick weekender now. Yeah, let's go pop out 300-400 miles real quick.
Like
feeling all saucy now.
Like now, like 100 and whatever mile. That's fine. We'll do that tomorrow. Like it's weird, but yeah, it's a weird transition to make because we did a lot of miles prior.
Yeah.
But doing that consistently is a whole different ball game. That's a big thing to learn. Is just like doing, even for us, like 100 miles and like 60 or 80 miles the next day was a good learning process. But I didn't think day 7 my back was gonna hurt like it did. Like, and like I can't.
We also didn't stretch either. We should have. There were some things that we said we were gonna do.
Sure.
Like off the bike care, but we didn't. We were supposed to stretch every day, watch some yoga videos. We didn't. We were like, no, food, beer now. Like, so I mean,
but that's real. That's real shit. That's what real people want. But yeah. So I mean, there's things we've learned, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, our route, if you want to do it, I think it's killer. I think it's like the best route you could do. And all the idiosyncrasies that we missed out on, like kind of screwed up on or wasn't sure about, those are all fixed. Those are all like done. Like, oh, can we get on the highway at this point?
Yeah.
We got on the highway and it worked. And we were told you can get on the highway at that point. So I think at the end of the day, what we did was beneficial for everyone who wants to try it. And yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, or apply what you saw and like for another trip.
Yeah, exactly. Like we want to do that for the same thing. Like we know that when we do the next one, we're still gonna try and double check and whatever it is. Like when we get to another town, hey, what's it gonna be like to go here? So that's something that's never gonna change, and it's something that I think we talked about a lot for the series because it's crucial.
Yeah.
Like we saved like what, 40 miles of trip?
Yeah.
So if that was a time constraint and you had to be there 40 miles, that's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. So yeah.
Cool. All right, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining. And that's it. You'll see the first day vlog on Friday.